Hi guys, thank you for tuning into my channel, Relationship Sessions with Sissy. Today we have two special guests, Mr. and Mrs. Ed Geth. They will be speaking on their relationship and kind of providing some insight on how they cultivate and grow their marriage. So Ed, Maya, thank you guys for joining. It's an honor to have you to chat with, so I appreciate you taking time out to speak on your marriage. All right. So there's a couple of questions that are kind of standard that I like to ask couples just to get a feel of, how your relationship kind of started out. How did you guys meet?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
Well, I guess this is a family.
I'm gonna chime in if he get the story wrong.
Of course,
Okay.
Because there's always two perspectives.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So this is a family show, so I got to keep some things a little PG.
Okay. Okay.
We met. Look at her face. She's nervous.
I'm not.
we met in a club. We met in a club. We were both see. I was there first. Yes, I was there first, and she walks in. I'll be the first to admit she caught my eye, cause she's tall and I'm tall. So, ooh, that's a tall drink of water right there. She is. I said, okay. So, and we making eyes, because we both kind of stand out. I'm 6'9", she's 6'2". What are you, 6'2"? Well, I say she had on heels, so she was 6'2". So, throughout the night, we just keep looking at each other, but it's really packed. We never really could make way to each other. And one time I was actually going to make a move, and then some guy out of nowhere comes up and hugs her and puts his face all in her neck. I was like, dang, I missed my chance. So I said, all right, let me move on. But then she was alone again by herself, and I was on the dance floor. And she intentionally, she won't admit to that. She said she was just going to the bar, but she intentionally walked past me. And so
I would like to say they had $7 Long Island iced tea fish bowls. And I was on my way to get a fish bowl. I was a little thirsty. It was hot in the club. I was trying to get a fish bowl.
I heard.
At this point, I hadn't even had a drink yet. But go ahead.
Okay.
And I had a driver, so I wasn't even driving.
So I grabbed her arm gently, and we make eyes. We didn't really say anything, and I just started dancing, and she starts dancing. So I said, "Oh, it's on. Okay. We gonna dance," and we dance for several songs, and then a certain song, again, it's a family show, so comes on, and she gets real provocative with her dancing. I don't know if you know the little John Eastside song, "To the window, to the wall." Hey. Yes, you know that song, okay. And there's a partner that says, "Stop, then wiggle with it." Hey. She had a little extra wiggle.
That's not a two-step.
Well, I'm thinking, man, I'm in.
Right.
So at this point,
what he thought was that it was getting close to shutting the club down, and he had him a piece to go to Waffle House with, and it wasn't happening. That's what he thought.
It didn't happen. That's how it didn't happen. She kind of led me on a little bit, but because I then followed her, she was, we were tired. We danced.
And he still didn't get me no drink. Every time a song go off, he tried to pull me in closer. Can I get some to drink?
I didn't really. That's my one flaw, and I pulled off. But then we get to talking, laughing. We end up just exchanging numbers, and it didn't happen that night. But we kept she's hilarious. That's the one thing. Every time we talked, we stayed on the phone for hours.
So that's how we met. That's how she asked.
Oh, okay, my bad. I got to get the light stuff. Yeah, but that's how we met, from that incident, and then that sparked tons of other dates.
Wow. Now, or both. Now, do you guys feel like there's a standard when approaching male, female? Do you feel like the male should always approach the female, or does it matter?
Well, in that setting, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, go to the club to find your husband, but
it just happened, right?
In that setting, you just dancing or whatever. I know it's 2020 and people have, their own thing. Women are proposing and whatever they're doing, but for me, I would rather pursue. Yeah, okay. I really would. That's my personal preference.
I believe men are natural hunters, and
right.
And I feel like men should make the move. However, I'm not we wait for hints, because sometimes you go over there and you don't want to be bothered, and now she's looking annoyed, and you may read it as rude, and then you end up saying something sideways. She ends up saying, and it's a bad exchange.
Right.
Right. See the middle of this.
That's good. Oh!
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
That was so cute.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like women shouldn't be afraid to throw hints, and you can be as aggressive as need be to throw that hint, but I do believe men should be the one to pursue.
But honestly, I disagree with as aggressive, just because sometimes your hints can be a little overbearing, like the whole booty shots on Instagram. You can draw men in that way, but when you draw them, they're not intending to stay. When you draw them like that, they come in to hit. Good. They want to smash and be out. Because they don't want the Instagram booty girl to be their actual wife.
Right. There you go. Okay. That's good. Now, Maya, how did you know Ed was the one? And how did you know Maya was the one?
Okay, so I didn't for a long time, because we were friends for years and years and years, and we were such good friends that I got to know so much about him that when it came down to it, I found it difficult to not be with him. So when we started to date, I know when you first meet somebody, if you start off a dating relationship immediately, they're gonna hide some things from you, because people generally know what their flaws are and they hide them.
Yeah.
So with us starting off as friends and legit friends for years, then he showed me who he really was, and I showed him, and so I knew he was the one, because biting off a trench hill, to not give him credit for it, his flaws were perfect for me.
That's good.
I know he's not perfect, but I'm okay with his imperfections. I can work with those.
That's good. So
that's how I knew, because even in his imperfection, I still love the crusty skin. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We could have left that out.
The crusty.
How to leave the crusty skin. I'm working on the crusty skin. We got lotions.
It's just on his feet.
Feet. Yeah, my feet.
Hey, that's all. Long as you love his look.
I was an athlete. My feet are terrible.
How you know? How you know I was the one?
Okay. I knew she said almost the same things, but I can point to a specific situation. We were friends first, like you said, so guards were down. We were, not intending to be here, so we showed each other the realness of each other.
Right.
I'm looking at her like, girl, you are crazy. But we laughing about it, not knowing that we were kind of syncing up. You know what I mean? Like, you learn what is truly her. You let your guard down, and then that also opens up certain situations. Like my mother passed away. And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's good. It's been some while now. And I think her mother was sick at the time. So we kind of leaned on each other for support.
Support.
During the time. And I'm telling you, like, I would have, you know how sons are about their moms. And she absolutely was saying and doing the right things that just helped me get over that. And again, while still being friends, and then not just we were stuck like glue from then on.
And I used to try to get away from him because I didn't want it to be him. I wanted it to be somebody else because I knew him. You know, and I was like, this can't be right. And so I didn't try to block him. Look, just let's take time. Just let me block you. And it's just I couldn't get away from him, and I'm so glad. I'm thankful that God wouldn't let me get away.
Yeah, that's awesome, y'all. Oh. Okay. So this kind of varies from marriage to marriage, from couple to couple. What are some of the most important tools that you feel are necessary to make your marriage or relationship work?
Ooh, the one that stands out the most for me is communication. And
Okay.
I know people beat that every relationship seminar, every book, they're going to say that. But the reason being is because it's true. Like effective communication. Like I think when people hear communication, they just hear talk.
Yeah.
But it's only effective if action comes behind the talking.
That's good.
So if you're talking to each other about, you know, a disagreement, like learning how to speak in the correct tone, learning how to hear what a person is saying and not what you make, that's all stuff we had to learn. Like we had to work through these things because, for instance, I might say something and I'm real shy. I'm sharp with the words, like I really am. I always speak in the respect. Tone is not my issue. I'm not finna loud cuss and fuss with you. We're not doing all of that. But the words that I choose can be real sharp on purpose. So I had to learn how to put sugar, as he asked me to do, on some of these words. And he had to learn how to hear what I'm saying. Because I'm a realist. I'm going to say exactly what I mean.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to say this, but I mean it to be a little meaner. Like, I make it as mean as I want it to be.
Right.
So we just had to learn how to talk in the right tone and hear what the other person is saying, and then actually try to do something about whatever change needs to be made. What about you? What do you think is another two?
I'm the opposite of her. Like where she is with words, I'm tone. Like I'm confrontational a little bit. I raise that voice. I try to stick my chest. I try to use my stature. That doesn't work with her like at all.
Because you be loud. And my first question is always, who are you talking to?
All the time.
And he be like, I'm talking to you if you're talking to me and I'm right here in front of you. What you yelling for? Like, you talking like you talking to somebody across the street.
We had to learn how to talk. And I always have this saying. I'm a coach, so I use this all the time, but it was appropriate for my marriage. Is it important that the thing you're trying to get across be said or received? You have to say it so the person receives it, not just so it can be said, because it could be said and then the other person is just ready to attack. So you got to figure out what is the best way for me to say it so that she receives it, so that she gets what I'm saying.
And that's the hardest thing for me, because I'm just like, I just need to get her out. Let me go on and say it. But he wasn't able to receive what I was saying. So I had to change some things. Another tool, I think, is support. Like just complete support in what the other person is passionate about. Like I know that he's super passionate about kids and basketball. So I go to his basketball games. Even when I have to drive from work back home, 35 minutes, get real together, head back to the game, it's gonna be late. Like I know how important it is for him to have me in the stands. And so I do that. I do marriage retreats. And what he's right there. He'll teach a class for me. He'll come anything that I need, but
never done that.
So support, communication, support, really big tools in our marriage.
Wow, that's good. Very good.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, so how has your relationship with Christ enhanced or strengthened your marriage?
Well, both of us grew up in the church, so that helps. You know, I was a PK, so to speak. I was raised by my grandmother, and she was a pastor. So, you know, I was in church every Sunday, every Monday, every Tuesday noonday prayer, Wednesday night Bible study, Thursday night choir rehearsal, everything. So I grew up around the church. I had a little rebellious stage like most PK. I got to college and was like, woohoo!
Yeah, right.
Right. So she actually grounded me, got me back being, more faithful because I knew it. You can't, it says train a child up and they won't depart. And I couldn't get away from it because it's in me. So one thing we do morning devotionals.
Okay.
We really carve out the time to do devotionals. It's no more than 15, 20 minutes. We try to sync it at the same time that we're feeding. Having Brielle helps because she wakes up and is hungry. So while we're feeding, while she's changing, we're doing the other person's doing the action. Like if I'm feeding, she's reading. If she's changing diaper, I'm reading. And we kind of discuss. Tony Evans gave a good 90-day.
He did. He has a 90-day devotional for couples. That's really good.
What's the name?
Tony Evans.
Tony Evans. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. But highly recommend. It's very good.
And we use the devotionals on the Bible app.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll pick a plan and then just do it together.
Okay.
That's been very helpful. And free.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, everybody always says prayer. You hear it all the time, but actually it works. You have to pray. And I think, and I know one of the things that got me back into prayer and that was keeping me away from praying as much as I should was, you feel shame. You're like, man, how am I going to pray to God with the stuff I did at the club last night? Ooh, I probably shouldn't have been talking to that young man or doing this or doing that. It don't matter. What I've learned is none of that matters. He still wants to hear from you. Like when you feel like it's shame on you, that's when he absolutely is opening his arms to hear.
God praise, Pastor.
So I've always got my mind in a phase to pray, even after a Friday night loss, after an argument, after a mistake, after I did something that I probably had no business doing. I'm ready to pray.
And that's attractive to me. Like in a friendship that we had, dating relationship, if I'm going through something and this man will lay hands on me and pray for me, like that was very, very attractive to me. Like I don't have to even ask you. He can see that I'm hurting or cramping or something, and he'll just go ahead and touch and pray. Like that's showing up, because if you're choosing somebody to be your husband, you are choosing them to lead your household.
Oh, that's good.
You're saying to God and to the people around you, your family, I trust this man to make decisions on my behalf. I can't trust nobody who ain't gonna talk to the Father first.
Right.
You're not just gonna make moves in life just because of what you woke up thinking.
Right, that's good.
It makes sense. People see you, they look like you don't even know God. If you see me watching a North Carolina game and we losing, it don't look like I know God because I'm standing around, curse words, I'm yelling at the TV. Like, what? He prayed? Yes. I've even
That's good.
Yeah, you have to get over that stigma of you have to live right just to pray.
You can't live right without him.
Right.
People saying I got to get cleaned up before I can go to God. Well, he cleans you. That's
right.
I better get real clean before I go put some water on my body. Well,
right.
You need that water. You're going to need that water.
Right. Because he died for our sins. He knew who was going to be doing this type of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, I think, so what you say, that's like the kind of the most important relationship to have, like even throughout
absolutely
marriage, relationship, dating, singleness.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, how did Miss Cutie Baby Brielle change the dynamic of your marriage? Because they say that when babies come, that changes things. So
she did.
I think she gave us a sense of priority. You know what I mean? I am very career driven. Like I focus on my craft. I love coaching, and I put in a lot of time and effort and energy and thought into it. When you got a baby, she don't care about none of that. So you learn that, you know what, giving up that nighttime film session didn't hurt me one bit to spend time with her. She had to really talk to me about being present. even, you know, being there. My body's there, but I wasn't present. I'd be looking on my phone or looking on my laptop, playing a game, watching or whatever. And I have to still be there with her to watch and don't miss her moment. So she has definitely prioritized teaching me what's important, teaching us what's important, and to plan our day and time around her.
I agree. Like having her having a schedule helped us have a schedule. Like before I had her, our devotionals, like we did the devotional, but we did the same devotional, but not at the same time. Like we would be on the Bible plan and we'd get up in the morning and pick up our phones and go to the bathroom. So he would go to one bathroom, I go to another. I might read it that morning and you comment on there and then he might read his at lunchtime and comment. So we were doing it. But I will say it's been more effective being in the same room, in the bed, reading it together, talking was more effective. But the only reason we did that is because we were getting her ready in the morning.
Right.
So we were like, we need to just go ahead and do the devotional now while I'm feeding her, and we can talk about it and have this time together instead of spending so much time in the bathroom. She helped us delegate things better as far as, because you get married and you do the counseling and you talk about gender roles. What do you expect of me in the home? What do you expect of me when you have a baby? Those things change. And I will say he's done a great job. I'm really thankful for him because I think a lot of men wouldn't even be willing to take on some of those roles that come with a baby. But I mean, we do baby stuff and I'm glad about that. So that she helped us delegate things around the house better.
Okay, delegate and prioritize. That's very good. That's good. Now, so with that, delegating and prioritizing, you have to have some time for romance, right? How important is romance in your marriage? And what are some suggestions and advice you could give married couples to keep that fire burning, or even to rekindle that fire?
Yeah, see.
This is her lane all the way. PG-13. I'm going to see the disclaimer. PG-13.
Yeah, my niece might be looking at this.
The marriage bed is undefiled, even if it's a baby laying in it. Romance is important. When I say so important, because if it's not there, then you leave yourself spiritually. You leave yourself open to be tempted by Satan. Not saying that you're not going to be tempted otherwise, right. But if you neglect the romance, the intimacy, the sex, then one or both of you will yearn for that, and Satan will send it to you. I mean, he knows what you're lacking. And so he knows that if now that you have a baby, that you're not hugging, you're not kissing, you're not touching, you're not having sex, you're not eating together, you're not doing any of those things, but he knows that deep down that's something that both of you need. Then when you're apart, he will offer that to you in several different forms. And you can only say no to that so many times.
Right.
I mean, really, in a weakened state, because you're weak when you're hungry, when you're sleepy, when you're all the things that come with having a baby. You're in a weakened state. And so that's the prime time for Satan to strike and offer you an alternative. So I think it's important that you come together and make time for the romance. Now, I will say that you can't invest as much time because you don't have it. So our living situation right now is not even conducive for me to walk around, naked with the heels like I like to do. And, with the heels, like like we can't play Red Riding Hood around the house. Stuff that, the big bad wolf. I mean, these are actual scenarios, like stuff that we really like to do. We're role playing, stuff we love to do. We might have to tone down right now because, she liable to poop up her back. And you be like, that's just real. Why would you do that? Like, now I got doodle all on my cute little lace lingerie, and I'm real so. But what you might do instead is, she just went to sleep. Let me bend over right quick. Like, what you talking about? Can we do this right quick? So I would say put in way more quickies and start with you got to have, we got to have an hour and a half carved out. So we can do the full body massage, the rose petals, the music, the candles. You're not going to have time for all of that unless you got somebody watching your baby.
Mm-hmm.
So accept that you're going to have to scale your romance down a little bit, but find time to do small increments of love, romance, sex. Get it all in.
I will say this, I'm gonna chime in. This is her expertise, and I agree with everything she says. As a man, like how she just said, it's hard to find that time. You got to do the quickest. If you just invest like one time, I don't know, maybe a month or every once in a while, a date night, and I got to get better at that. Like I had to learn to get better at that. Man, very appreciative, because now when you don't have that time, and you just say, all right, let me find babysitter, a relative, keep the kid and get away so we can do the whole hour-long thing at the house or the hotel or wherever. You can. If you create just one time and then you go back to your routine, you still keep the frequency going, but you find that one time, it adds, and it makes you appreciate that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the couples that I talk to, a lot of times the sex is not happening because a lot of the women are tired. Because when you have a baby, even if the husband helps, like you're doing most of the work. And so keeping the house going and keeping the baby, it takes so much time and energy. At the end of the day, you're tired. So men who want more sex, you have got to take some of that off your wife's plate. You have got to take it off so that she has energy to love on you.
Yeah.
And then women, if you would just recognize that your husband needs a release. Like a lot of times, it ain't even about, I have got to do all this connection. He really just needs a sexual release. And if you actually, do it right, it could really be done. If you tell him, I'm so sleepy, like, can you make it quick? You can make it quick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Ain't nobody got to draw it out. Like, just put the effort in and just be like, look, if you just give up 5 minutes of your time, it could be over. He got to release. He happy.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take on both sides, really. You know what I mean?
That's some good stuff. I'm telling y'all, when I get married. All right, last question. And so I didn't forget about us singles. What would you tell single people who are anxious about finding a mate and starting a family?
I would say the very first thing you should look at is, am I the person that I would want since I'm a female, am I the person I would want my brother to date? Would I introduce me to Kenya? Or would I have a problem with some of the things? I would work on you and make sure that you are all the way happy with the person you are offering to this person. Because while you're in waiting, I know I read when I was singing a lady in waiting, you're waiting, like, date yourself, have fun. Like, you cannot be living every day of your life waiting on some man.
Can I chime in?
You want to chime in?
When we were friends, I would call her and I'd be like, where you headed? Now, keep in mind, we friends. So I didn't mind her. She would date other people. I was seeing other people. It didn't matter. She was like, I'm headed to Red Lobster. And I don't know if FaceTime had started yet, or she sent me a picture. She'd have a little tiara on her head and she's going to Red Lobster. I'm like, well, who are you going to meet? She said, I'm going by myself. I'm like, huh? I used to think she losing it.
When I say that,
she was learning how to treat herself, how to appreciate herself. And I'm thankful that she did that, because she became emotionally independent.
Yeah, that's good.
When we were together, it didn't tie on. Like, if I did something wrong emotionally, it doesn't necessarily break us. You know what I mean? Right. So I thought that was one of the best.
You absolutely have. You cannot wait. Be like, I want to go on a date. I have to find. You can't go out with somebody who is not good for you just so you can go on a date. Like, you have to love yourself enough to be in your own space. Some people are so what's the word I want to say? They are uncomfortable in their own space. And so, like, I took myself to the movies every Tuesday. They had a special at Japanese restaurant, and I went ate Japanese, and they had $5 movies. I went to the movies in Japanese every Tuesday, and I would pop on the plane. I would call up my dad, Floyd Ramsey, and my sister.
She's a deal shop. She doesn't spend a lot of money,
but honey, I found me a deal going to Vegas or to Aruba or to Jamaica. Honey, we gone. I'm not waiting on the man to plan a trip for me.
Right.
I plan myself a trip.
Right.
I have a great time. I went, I shopped, I did whatever I wanted to do while I was single. I enjoyed singleness. Like, so he added. No,
Yeah.
I love him. I'm crazy about him. He's my favorite person in the entire world. But if he left me, I would live.
Yeah, right.
If he decided, oh, I found somebody better, like I'm gone, then I'll say, will you get Brielle every other weekend, send me your check. Now I have to figure out how to live on myself. Like, it's not a situation where if you leave, I die. Like,
oh my
and I'm talking about my favorite person in the world. I love him, but I can live independent. You know what I mean?
That's good.
What's your advice to single men?
Great for women, because I feel like women that can deal with a lot of issues. I think a man is a little bit different. I think man has to fix himself too. Definitely. We have to be, know where we're going, have a plan, know what you want to do with you before you bring somebody into your
Come on.
Okay? Second, you got to find a way to make her your friend. We got to get out of guys. We get into that stereotype of bros before you know what. And we have to change that, because you need a female who's your friend. I promise you. Like having guys be your friends, it don't take long for us to do something stupid. We just are. When we get together, I think we just try to out stupid each other. And it's fun. I still love doing it. I love hanging out with my guys, but I know there's that limit. I know there's somebody that's going to tell me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you find that woman that's your friend that'll tell you the truth. That I think that's necessary before, you get into marriage. So stay single, find out who is your friend, find out what your plan is in life. And then the difference I say with men, I feel like you need to find a woman you can't be without. Because if she leaves me, I don't know what I'm going to do. This one right here is she's the real deal. Like, she knows me more than I know myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can think of what I want, and somehow she'll be like, you want something to eat? Yes, I do. See, hey, I was hoping for some new trimmers. Like, she has an idea of what I need, and just being ready to present it, give it, support it somehow. So you got to find a woman you can be without.
Piggybacking off of the friend thing, one other reason that it's really important to be friends is the transparency that comes with friendship. And for our marriage, I can't speak on any other one, if we didn't have that transparency, then we wouldn't be able to be married, because both of us have less than perfect past.
Right.
Like, both of us have cheating natures.
Right.
And
full disclosure.
But I know that about him, and he knows that about me.
Right.
He's not looking at me thinking, oh, my wife only has eyes for me. Yeah. And I'm looking at him like, he don't see nobody booty but mine. Yeah. Like, lies. Like, I know this about mine.
I got to look out for the Idris Elba, Lamar Ruckin looking like dudes. All head dudes with muscles. I gotta.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, even though we are loyal and committed, but we are loyal and committed on purpose, not because that's just something that's natural. Right. That goes against both of our nature. To be monogamous goes against both of our nature, but we are transparent about that, which means our phones, like, my thumb is the password to his phone, and he knows that. And he knows that I can get in. He knows that I can look on the phone bill and see everything. And not even, he said I'm a stalker. But he knows how to get up in my phone too. And I know people be like, she better not ever touch my phone. Well,
Right.
and that's fine for y'all. But for us, we know we have to be able. There's a accountability factor there.
Right. There you go. That's good.
I'm not faulting anybody that has that. Like if you says, no, that's just my boundaries, that's great. I mean, I understand that. But we know in order for us to be successful, we have to.
That's just something that y'all, yeah.
I wouldn't recommend everybody do it, though. I wouldn't recommend it. Because it's still scary. Even when she grabs my phone, I'm like.
Right.
But without that accountability factor, without that piece, then you are more prone to foolishness. I am. I can't speak for nobody else. But if I know good and well that he can't see nothing in my phone ever, I am way more apt to have some foolishness on my phone. Period. So the transparency.
Stop! I can't wait. I'm like, listen, you need to look at this. That is some good stuff. Y'all have been absolutely phenomenal. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us. Did we run over? How long is this supposed to be?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Because we be talking.
Yeah, we
I had to update my license, so it's all good.
Okay.
But I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. I know you guys have a lot of stuff to do, and so I appreciate you taking the time out.
And to plug the business, I would like to say I am now a certified relationship coach and event planner. And I got certified as an event manager. And I just picked up a third certification as a hospitality manager. So if you need any of my services, well, I will send you my website so you can pin the address below.
Please.
So y'all can holler at us.
There are people who need more, expertise in this. There are people that really need some type of counseling, whether singles or couples or marriages, they really need some assistance. So I think that would be awesome. So if you could please send that information. I'll probably be the first customer, but go ahead and send me that information. That'll be great.
We do singles coaching, group coaching, couples coaching for events. I love planning couple stuff. So any date nights, weekend stuff, I love putting together because a lot of people don't want to do the work. They just want to go. Right. Let me do it. I want to do it. I love it. So engagement parties, proposals, all that. And
for the proposals, fella.
I got you. So thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. To my viewers, subscribers, if this was something beneficial to you guys, as it was very beneficial to me, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. Also, make sure you guys stay tuned. For my high school students going to college, I have some information in regards to establishing relationships as you go to college. So make sure you stay tuned to that. As always, make sure you be blessed and have a great day. Thank you guys. I love you guys.
You too.